Hello everyone and welcome to From the Heart Friday, session 197 with me, Jessica Brigden of Jess B, Creative Cardiology. And it is the most beautiful, perfect autumn day here in New York. I hope it is where you are too. And so I thought, what better stamp set to play with today than the Autumn Leaves bundle and the Coordinating All About Autumn Specialty Designer Series paper. Now this paper has been pretty elusive and is already sold out multiple times over the last couple of months. In fact, it was restocked earlier this week and is gone again. But don't fear, it is expected to be back again next week, the week of October 30th. So if you haven't gotten a chance to get some of this gorgeous autumn paper, of course, with these beautiful metallic designs too, they can be used throughout the seasons. All right, it's absolutely gorgeous. One of my most favorite paper packs that I think Stampin' Up! Has ever come out with, which is why it is so popular. So I've got a couple quick, cute cards that help to mix and match some of the patterns from this paper, maximize it so that you can stretch it further. And I think you'll have fun with this. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're here, let me know. Give me a comment. Love to have you join me this Friday afternoon. It is almost, well, it's over 70 degrees here in New York, which is unheard of for late October. And we are soaking it up. Ziggy is outside sunning herself on the porch. We have just been really enjoying this because this weekend, well, starting with tomorrow afternoon, the rain is supposed to come in and it's going to drop to the more seasonal temperatures. We're actually expecting snow flurries sometime next week. So change is inevitable, but hold on to this warm weather as long as we can. All right, let me see, how is that lighting, everybody? I can adjust that, remove the glare a little bit. Hello, hi everybody. All right, hi Kathy, hi Terry, hi Tracy and Alicia, and my hubby David popped in real quick. Hello everyone. All right, so trying to read your comments here. The white on white is making it hard to see. Ooh, Alicia is up in Alaska. She knows what cold is. Brr. All right, so for our first card, like I said, I love this paper. There's a lot of beautiful colors in it. We've got Cajun Craze, Copper Clay, some crushed curry, early espresso, a bit of moody mauve, mossy meadow, pretty peacock, pumpkin pie, very vanilla. And I'm gonna pull in some old olive. Old olive is actually the lighter complement to some mossy meadow. And old olive paired with pretty peacock is just a really bright, beautiful color combination. So that's what we're gonna start with. Of course, we've got a half sheet of cardstock here for our card base, 5.5 by 8.5, fold at 4 1/4. All right, so like I said, we're gonna mix and match some patterns. So I cut a layer of pretty peacock. This is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to build our patterns on this piece before we glue it onto our card base. So I've got this gorgeous autumn leaf pattern. This is actually what it's kind of looked like here. It was a really late start, I feel like, to our leaves changing. We had some rain a week or so ago, and that kind of knocked a lot of the leaves off before they changed, but the ones that are hanging on are really pretty right now. So this is typical of what you would see in central New York. So I thought I'd pair this pattern. I've cut that to 3 inches, so 3 by 5. We can go ahead and glue this down. Of course, the back side is the mossy meadow with that copper foil. So pretty. All right, if you have not invested yet in the newest in color Copper Clay, I highly recommend you do so. It is such a pretty color. And it's the copper foil that's all throughout the paper. And excitedly, along with this autumn paper that will be back in stock, but the ribbon duo. This is the autumn, all about autumn dual ribbon. It's got this copper clay foil ribbon as well as a natural kind of a burlappy pattern. This is back in stock, and the oxidized foil that comes in both the copper and has the pretty peacock in there too. All right, this is also back in stock. So we're doing pretty good right now as far as new items back in stock in the Stampin' Up! Online store. If you do want to shop, we got a couple days left in the month, and my new October host code is 6BPNFPB9. However, I do want to plug, we've got a couple days left of Stampin' Up's amazing 35% off starter kit. It's fully customizable, which means you pick out the product you want. You can choose $125 worth of product, and at 35% off the usual $99 starter kit price, you can get that $125 of product now for just $66 and change, which that's like half price. All right, that's phenomenal. So if you have at least $66 of product on your wish list, right? So if you've got a bundle is usually about $45, $50. Add in some designer paper and a ribbon. Goodness, you might as well join my Creative Cardiology team and take advantage of that awesome sale. All right. So it's not a prefab kit. It's simply a build your own kit. Many of my team, who are probably here in the comments, could even tell you they are their own best customers. They use it as a hobby, discount shopping. All right, kind of like your Costco or your BJ's membership, where you pay an entry fee and then you get a discount on the products. So with Stampin' Up, once you purchase a starter kit, as a demonstrator, you then get a minimum 20% discount on your product, which is pretty awesome. You're not obligated to sell or do parties or workshops or anything like that. You can be your own best customer and enjoy the benefits our Creative Cardiology team and all that Stampin' Up offers too. So I hope you consider it. That special goes through October 31st, which is Tuesday. All right. So I'm going to pair this pattern here with a strip of 1x5. And I love this sweater pattern. It's this warm, cozy blanket, perfect for fall. I thought that went really nicely here. So I'm going to match that up with my autumn leaf pattern. And then we'll use some of this gorgeous copper foil ribbon just right down that seam. All right, if anybody has any questions about that starter kit, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer those for you, help you out. If you're wondering if there's a minimum, Stampin' Up does have a quarterly minimum. Our quarters are fixed. So technically your first full quarter would be January, February, March. So if you purchase a starter kit here in October, your first quarter would be January through March, and the quarterly minimum is $300. But anything you order between when you join here in October and March counts towards that $300 minimum. So in the top of that, we have some new online exclusives. Those will be making their debut on November, I believe it's November 7th. But you can actually order them as part of your starter kit now. That's an advantage. We also have the mini catalog, Spring Mini. I know it's crazy to talk about that, but our Spring Mini, which comes out in January, we have a demonstrator pre-order for that in December. And actually, as a little bonus perk of your starter kit, Stampin' Up, on top of the fabulous deal, is also giving free registration to our virtual convention this year, and that's going to be Saturday, November 11th. It is virtual, it's recorded, so if you can't make it that date, you can watch the replay later. But a bonus, that's a $77 value. That's what I paid to attend. On top of that, you actually get to participate in the event pre-order ahead of everybody else, even other demonstrators. And you can pre-order from the mini catalog in November. There's even a cute little bumblebee, excuse me, I don't know why I have ladybugs. A cute little bumblebee collection that's got some really cute designer paper and accessories that you can pre-order as part of that event too. So lots of perks, so definitely consider that. Of course, if you want to order and pay full price, along with your shipping and tax, I'm happy to take your order. But if you want to know how to maximize your dollar, because this economy right now, every little bit counts. I definitely want to tell you about that starter kit special because it's worth taking a look at. All right, so I know I've been pretty chatty here. We've got our card base built. We've paired our gorgeous autumn leaf patterns with our snuggly blanket pattern, wrapped it up with some copper clay ribbon. And now I'm using the gorgeous die cuts here. Look how many die cuts come in this autumn bundle. So many fun things. All of the leaves, the veining for the leaves. We've got a couple of labels, as well as just some stitching detail. I put a little piece of tape. This label I have used so much that it has popped up just a little bit, so I want to make sure it stays in my case. So I die cut that from some very vanilla cardstock here, and we're going to stamp our sentiment. Let's go with a grateful heart. I love that one. Okay, let's see. Pull this out here, and we'll mount it on a block, and then I'm going to stamp that with some pretty peacock ink. Okay, make sure I've got that nicely inked. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's pop this up with a couple of dimensionals. I'm finishing up my edge pieces here. Well, we might as well just, look at that. I can throw that piece away. I used every little bit. Love that. Okay, so we're gonna take this and let's see, we'll just pop this kind of the lower third of the card here. We'll do that. Let's take a little leaf. This is from the oxidized copper paper. Along that, let's see, we need another little dimensional to pop that up with. Let's see what I've got here. All right, getting started. And open a new pack. Isn't that exciting? Fresh new dimensionals. So I'm gonna bend those. There we go, get started. Let me take a couple on there for good measure. I'll just pop this over towards the left of our sentiment. And then I do, somewhere I had here, I used some linen thread. I tied just a little bow here. I thought that would be kind of cute. All right, so let me tighten that just a little bit. All right, so we've got our little linen bow. We're gonna pop that on the stem of our leaf, putting the knot on the dot there. Oops, come on here, knot on the dot. There we go, right on the stem of our leaf. Isn't that cute? We've got a little rustic feel to it. And then if we want to add a few embellishments, you could use, so we've got our brushed metallic adhesive back dots. Those come in gold, brass, and copper. We also have our speckled dots. These are supposed to be restocked soon too. All right, so I know a lot of you are switching over to fall or to winter. I've been holding on to fall just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna use some of these greenish old olive mossy meadow dots here. And we'll put, there we go, we'll put a small one. And then let's do a large one kind of up here. And let's do another, I had another little green one somewhere that popped off of something. All right. We'll try not to lose that one. All right, we'll do one more large one and I'll put it over here towards the left. Okay. All right, so we've got a little trio. So we've got a lot going on there, but it's so pretty. Mix and matching those patterns. Fall leaves, snuggly blanket. Warm and cozy. What do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? And I love the shine of that metallic copper ribbon too. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Polly. Hello, hello. Yes, Kathy, it's true. It's impossible to make an ugly card with this paper. I have not seen one yet. So I'm going to follow this same pattern. And this time, we're going to pair our pretty peacock with some early espresso. And we're going to change the pattern up just a little bit. All right, so we're going to fold this. And I don't know, did I show you this? Yes, I did put the vanilla inside my card, so finish that up a little bit. All right, so for this one, I'm going to use some early espresso with that. So this layer is 4 by 5 1/4. All right, and I'm using my designer series paper, same size, but this time I'm going with the warm cozy blanket as my main panel. So again, this is 3 by 5. And then for the side piece, I'm using the reverse of that. I'm using that pretty peacock and copper herringbone pattern. So we'll put these on here. I'm hoping to have a little warm snuggle time this weekend, especially with it being weather changing. Be nice to curl up with David and Ziggy and be warm and cozy in front of the fireplace. Autumn is one of my, I think it probably is my favorite season. Love that. All right, isn't that, again, it's such, it looks different, but it's so pretty. It's, no matter how you mix and match that paper, it's gorgeous. All right, so let's use the other, since this is a ribbon combo, you get both spools in the packet. Let's use some of this herringbone pattern. And let's put, yes, all of the farms, because their stretch weather has been so great, so they have been, there's still some like doing another cutting of hay. Corn is all being chopped. They are spreading manure like crazy. It's the blessings of living in farm country here. A funny story, well, maybe you won't think it's funny, I don't know. So I'm going to cut this at about 5 inches here. And so I was driving down the road the other day, and they had been spreading manure in the fields, those big tanker trucks. And one of them must have had a leak or a pipe burst, something happened, and they flooded the entire road with manure. And of course, I was the first car to come upon it before they had gotten that all fixed up. So my car, of course, got to be the one to drive through all of that beautiful manure. And of course, that was quite the nice little stink, because, you know, when those tanker trucks are hauling it, it's usually because it's been sitting somewhere for a while, so it gets that really nice essence of pew. And so my car had this nice stink because it got in the, got in the tires, it got up in the wheel wells. Oh, it's terrible. Of course, when I drove back through that area later in the day, they had already gotten it cleaned up. They'd put, it looked like sawdust shavings or something to help soak it up, clean it up, and get it out of the way. So I was in town yesterday, of course, a couple days since I drove through that manure, my car was all stinky. And yesterday in town, they were flushing the hydrants. And so they were flooding some of the roads with water. So I deliberately drove through all that water yesterday because it did help clean out my tires and my wheel wells. And now my car does not stink quite as bad. So that was my free car wash yesterday. So I drove through the manure a couple days ago. Yesterday I drove through the flushing of the hydrants. So it's been an eventful week here. Oh dear. Oh. Yes, that is the thing with cooler weather. It does help keep some of the smells down, but yep. Such is life in the country. So I've taken the ribbon. I did about 5 inches. Actually, I think it probably could have gone a little bit longer, but I thought this time I would, instead of coming down the seam, we'll just do kind of a little, just bend it in half, do a little flag kind of the ends over here on the right side. So I'm gonna glue this down first so that I don't have to, you know, run over any bumps or anything. We keep this nice and smooth. Oh, I used up, is Luann there? My running joke with Luann is when she's viewing is when I run out of adhesive. All right. Let me grab a refill real quick. That's one of those things. Every time I put an order in, I add a couple of adhesive refills to it. Always good to keep these in stock because you don't want to run out mid-project. All right. I had somebody at my last class tell me she actually threw out her whole case, her whole thing when she used it up. And then she was kicking herself because she's like, oh, I forgot I could just refill it. So yes, the advantage of Stampin' Up's Stampin' Seals there is they are refillable. So make sure you keep the outer case. All right, and then we can always just, boy, I feel like that card is awful long. It is. It is 5 3/4. That's why it's not matched up quite so well. Let me trim that down just a little bit. There we go. Trimmed that little 1/4 of an inch off. And now look, this fits much better. Okay. Much better on there. All right, so when it comes to using wide fat ribbon like that, I like to just decide where I'm gonna put it and put a little batch of adhesive right there. And then it sticks down. Yep, we're good, okay? Then we can take our sentiment. This time I thought we'd use the wider of the two labels. All right, so I'm using the wider one with some Very Vanilla. And let's use that sentiment. Autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. That is a nice one too. So we'll grab that and a block for it. And I'm gonna use that same Pretty Peacock ink for this one. Make sure we move that. So we're stamping on a flat surface here. All right. There we go. We'll grab some of those new dimensionals. Let's put 4 on. Better to be super stuck than not enough. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Put that right on top. And then this time, let's use some of that oxidized copper with the Pretty Peacock distressing on it. And we've got the maple leaf and the oak leaf there, so we could do both. Yeah, that looks kind of cute. Maybe let's do both. Why not? Okay. So leave me a comment. What is your favorite season? I think autumn, like these nice autumn days when it's, 60, 70 degrees. Those are my favorite. Although I am pretty temperate, I would love it if it could just be like 65, 70 degrees all year round. I think that would be absolutely perfect. But I'm pretty temperamental that way. So leave me a comment. Let me know, what is your favorite season? All right, so let's use some of these metallic dots this time. Yeah, let's do that. Use the metallic adhesive flag dots. I've got some of the copper ones in here, and I think that would go really nicely. So we'll grab some of those copper leaves. All right, so let's add a little pop of color here. Pop of copper. There we go. Whoops. Running around. Let's do one over here. And then let's take a smaller one because we've got two sizes here. I know I mix all my embellishments because I hate to have multiple open packs, and it seems like as I go through I always use like a particular color. So with this autumn paper I've been using a lot of the copper. And look, I've got lots of the gold and the brass for, who knows, the next set of projects. But I combine them and I put them all in one. That way it helps me keep track. I hate having partial packs all loose all over the place. What do you guys think? I didn't put any twine on this one, but I just love that blanket pattern. Do any of you crochet or knit? That's what it reminds me of. Nice, warm, cozy blankets. This stitching reminds me of a blanket that, it was a cotton knit blanket that my grandmother kept on her couch. And I would always snuggle up on it. It was so soft. It just smelled like her fabric softener. I loved it. It was my favorite blanket. That whenever I would go to my grandparents' house, I would curl up in this blanket. And when they passed away, one of the things I got, I said, I want that blanket. So I have that blanket in my own house, and that stitching reminds me of that. So when I wrap up in that, it reminds me of curling up, snuggling with my grandparents. But yeah, if you crochet or knit, that's a fun pattern to go with that too. So many wonderful things all about autumn. I hope you'll enjoy this collection, and I've enjoyed these cards. It's a great pattern. Again, just a 1 inch by 5 inch strip for the left, a 3 by 5 inch strip for the right. And then they do overlap a little bit. You can either hide the seam with some ribbon or just embrace it here and add a little bit of decoration, some die cut leaves, things like that. Pop your piece of vanilla on the inside to wrap it up, and yeah, mix and match. Could be used with any patterns of designer paper. Of course, the autumn's my favorite, but would work with any of them. So there we go. That was the Autumn Leaves collection. And I suppose I'm gonna have to start moving into some of these winter projects here pretty soon. But again, autumn paper should be back in stock on Monday. Another thing, just to give you a heads up, if you are into fall, is the pumpkin bundle. All right, the pumpkin patch bundle. The pumpkin punch is on low inventory. So once this sells out, that'll be it. Stampin' Up! Won't be ordering anymore, I don't believe, since we're kind of at the end of that season. So just a heads up, this was a fun swap card I had received from Belle Harder, one of my fellow Trip Achievers there. And so that was really pretty. But yeah, there we have it. So wrapping up the month of October, and as well as Stampin' Up's 35% off starter kit for their 35th anniversary. That's crazy. Crazy awesome. All right, you guys have a wonderful afternoon, rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for stamping along. It's a great time of year, great season to get out there and do a little stamping and send somebody a hug. A card is a hug with a fold in the middle, so send somebody a warm hug. All right, take care, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.